This week's WWE Raw rating was down, and now we're going to look at the quarter hours to see who we can possibly pin the blame on. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. We've already spoke about in the ratings video about how it was a dumb decision to not put Drew on the show and make it aware that he was not going to be here, especially with CM Punk being on the show. Wasted opportunity to have both guys in the same building at the same time. They didn't do that. They also didn't reveal ahead of time that Rhea Ripley was going to return, and I like that they didn't do that because I think surprises need to happen in wrestling. You know, we can't just promote returns as much as it can pop ratings. I think we do need surprise returns from time to time. You can definitely get a mixture of both, okay? There is opportunities to promote a return, but then there's also times where I think returns should just happen naturally out of the blue without any promoting or revealing ahead of time. But anyway, now that we've discussed that, let's get into the quarter hour breakdown. So, quarter one, 8 o'clock to 8:15, we got the Money in the Bank recap. We got CM Punk and Seth Rollins having a live promo. This gave a 1.932 million rating, and it was the highest rated quarter of the show. I mean, I'm not really surprised to hear CM Punk getting the highest rated quarter, although it's not great, you know, it's still not fantastic. It's a good rating, and yes, it's better than anything else on the show, but with CM Punk, I'm expecting this guy to get into the 2 million something, and he was having a promo here with Seth Rollins, so, you know, you've got two of the biggest guys on Raw in a promo to kick off the show, and we couldn't break 2 million, so, yeah, I'm not going to shit on it, but still, you would expect a little bit more, I believe, and who knows, had Drew McIntyre been in the building, had Drew McIntyre been in this segment, I'm sure they would have broke the 2 million barrier easily, but they decided to not do that for whatever reason. Quarter 2, 8:15 to 8:30, we get the continuation of this live promo. We get Adam Pearce and Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan backstage, and then we go into a Jey Uso Chad Gable match. This was down 2% to 1.893 million. Only a 2% loss. Doesn't really surprise me because obviously you got the continuation of the opening promo, and then you have Dominic and Liv, and that stuff's been doing really well. Yes, Jey Uso versus Chad Gable probably did lose people's interest, to be honest, but that's to be expected. Only a 2% loss, I think, is decent. We then go into quarter 3. We get the continuation of Jey Uso versus Chad Gable. We get post-match with the Wyatt Six. Then we get a Sheamus and Bronson Reed backstage angle. This lost 4%. It did 1.819 million. And now we are, 113,000 viewers down from quarter 1. And to me, I think they've done a bad job with the Wyatt Six, but I think this is further proof that people have just lost interest now. First of all, it is the same thing every week. It is the female member of the Wyatt Six. It's Nikki Cross coming out and giving Michael Cole some sort of videotape or some sort of box during a Chad Gable match. And the fact that Jey Uso was wrestling Chad Gable, if people can put the pieces together, and honestly it's not hard here because 2 + 2 = 4, if people can put that together and they see Chad Gable in a match, then they must know that you're going to get the Wyatt Six. So the fact that Chad Gable was coming on in quarter 2 and quarter 3, if people were really interested about the Wyatt Six, they would be tuning in. They would be making sure that they stick around for that Chad Gable match, because the likelihood is we're going to see the Wyatt Six. But we don't really see them. All we see is Nikki Cross come out, she looks at Chad Gable, he runs away, and then she gives something to Michael Cole. It's incredibly lazy. It's slow as hell. People will go, oh, it's amazing storytelling. No, it's not. It's the same shit every week. It's not amazing nothing. It's the same garbage. This Wyatt Six thing's pretty much already dead. How can you start off with a backstage massacre of like half the roster, and then the next 3 weeks you have some fucking tramp come out with a box and gives it to Michael Cole? You talk about killing something straight away. They've been here like 1 month and they feel like they're dead already. And if you disagree with that, then I'm glad you're enjoying the Wyatt Six, but I don't know how anyone can think this is good. I gave them credit. I thought the debut was good. I didn't think they'd be able to, you know, keep that on top of that and grow on that and build on that, and quite clearly they haven't, but they've definitely dropped the ball here with the Wyatt 6. Moving to quarter 4, Pete Dunne versus Bronson Reed. We got a post-match with Sheamus down another 4%, 1.739. Am I surprised this lost 4%? Absolutely not. So we are 197,000 down now from the opening segment. Quarter 5, 9 o'clock to 9:15, Judgment Day, Carlito, Seth Rollins backstage angle, and then we've got Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed live angle. This Bronson Reed, wait, not Bronson Reed, it was Braun Breaker. Pretty sure it was Braun Breaker. Yeah, Braun Breaker. This got a 1.9 on the dot million, and it was a 9% increase. So again, I'm not surprised because it is quarter 5. It's the hour that tends to do well, and normally this is the highest rated quarter of the show, but it wasn't on this occasion. I just don't think Sami Zayn's interesting. You know, who really... At 9 o'clock, I think people see Sami Zayn coming out to cut a promo, and they would lose interest personally for me. I don't think we need to see this. I would have had the Judgment Day have a promo last 15 minutes or whatever. I don't think anybody wants to see Sami Zayn coming out to the ring to cut a promo. Looks like a homeless bum. Just not a believable champion. Not interesting. I gave Sami Zayn credit throughout like a 2-3 year period on SmackDown where he was genuinely, I think, one of the best things in wrestling, believe it or not. I think when he had the whole schizophrenic paranoia gimmick when he was feuding with Johnny Knoxville, that was funny, that was interesting. His stuff in the Bloodline was pretty decent, but when he left the Bloodline and he went straight back into a team with Kevin Owens, I knew it. I was like, this is going to absolutely suck. Lo and behold, they won the belts at Mania, and he's been awful ever since. So yeah, the guy had like a decent 2.5 year period on SmackDown, but I cannot stand Sami Zayn. I think the guy absolutely sucks, and I wouldn't be putting him in this quarter, that's for sure. Quarter 6, we get a John Cena video. We get Carlito in the Judgment Day taking on Awesome Truth and Braun Strowman. This loses 5% down to 1.803. Quarter 7, Carlito, Judgment Day, Awesome Truth, Strowman continued. We get Pierce and Punk backstage for about 10 seconds. Then we get Morgan, Judgment Day, and Carlito in a backstage angle. Uncle Howdy in a video, Gable and Pierce backstage. This went down another few thousand here, 7,000 lost, so not good. 8 o'clock, or quarter 8, sorry. It was 9:45 to 10 p.m. Damage Control promo. And then Eli Dragunov versus Braun Breaker. And this lost 10%. So, yeah, are we surprised? No. 10% lost here. 1.642 million. Quarter 9, 10 o'clock. Dragunov versus Breaker continued. We get a post-match with Damian Priest. And we get a Final Testament video. This went up 1% to 1.643 million, but a very small increase at the top of the hour. Quarter 10, 10:15 to 10:30, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter and Lyra Valkyria taking on Damage Control, boring. We get the post-match beatdown with Baszler, Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville. And then we get Selena Vega and Rey Mysterio with a backstage promo. This lost 2%. Quarter 11, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville are backstage. We get an Unholy Union backstage angle as well. And then we get a Gunther video. This lost 4%. I mean, no wonder. Just listen to these women. Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Sonya Deville, Unholy Union, and a Gunther video. That was the entire 15 minutes between 10:30 and 10:45. How could you expect not to lose viewers during this period? And rightfully so. It was the lowest rated quarter of the show, 1.537. I mean, just look at those names. Nobody gives a fuck. My name Gunther. I got nipples. And no one cares about your nipples, mate. Maybe if it was Trish Stratus, we would care, but nobody cares about yours, so just fuck off. This guy shouldn't be wrestling at SummerSlam. Can't cut a single promo. He is so boring. Wrestles the same shitty style. Has half-an-hour matches. People thinks he's great because he chops hard. Oh, Gunther chops hard. I want Gunther to chop my ass hard. I mean, what? Fuck off with that shit, man. The guy sucks. Shouldn't be in the main event. Lucky to be in the company. Gunther sucks. And then quarter 12, we get the 10:45, 11 p.m. slot. It's Mysterio and Vega versus Mysterio and Morgan, with the return of Rhea Ripley, and this went up 11% to end with a 1.704 million. So a decent increase at the end there for Raw. to be expected, to be honest, because you did get a pretty good main event. And then, of course, Rhea Ripley, the fact that she wasn't advertised and it was very late in the show, I don't think I'm going to give her much credit, to be honest, because of she just came out very late. I don't think she bumped up the rating. What they probably, in my opinion, should have done was I would have had this match in quarter 5. I would have had this mixed tag match in quarter 5 and then have Rhea Ripley return at the end of it. And then that means in the next 2 hours of Raw, you could have Rhea Ripley searching for Liv Morgan. And that would probably, get more people interested. But yeah, now what's happened? Rhea Ripley came out, she looked at Dom, she walked away, and now you've just got a week where things are going to die down, things are going to cool off. Doesn't make sense to me. That's what I would have done. I would have had this happen earlier in the night, and then you can have the final 2 hours, you can have Rhea Ripley, looking for Liv Morgan, maybe quarter 9 at the top of the 10 hour, 10 p.m. You could have had a segment with Rhea Ripley and Dominic in the ring, his explanation. Then who knows, maybe in the final quarter you could have had Liv Morgan maybe calling out Rhea Ripley to the ring. But we won't get that. What we'll probably get is something really slow, and it'll probably take like 10 years before Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley even, come face to face. So that's what we get in WWE, Triple H's wrestling company. Anyway, guys, that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.